Hello, beautiful and amazing star family. It's Shauna L. Francis. Today is December 8th, 2022. Thank you so much for joining me for today's Ascension Daily Update. We are continuing with the reptilian disclosure. I have another long video to make tonight. Share everything that I've learned today that came through. It's an honor, and I am excited to be talking about this stuff, as hard as it is. It was yesterday was really tough. Today it's hard for a different reason, because I'm starting to just realize how deep and how far this is going to go. I mean, we've just been scratching the surface here. And today they really laid the groundwork for what's been happening and why, and going back kind of more of the historical aspects of the reptilian influence. I mean, it's amazing, you guys. It's incredible information. It's feeling really huge. Like it's just so much information. So I don't know how I'm feeling about it, except, I mean, I really do feel that it's an honor to be able to bring this information through, come what may. It's important. I feel that this starts to get disseminated. All right, so I'll go ahead and get started. I checked in with Melchizedek first, and they had some lovely, lovely things to say. Hi, Shauna, this is Melchizedek at your service. We appreciate you just continuing on with your dialogue with the various cast members who are ready and willing to assist you with your journey, dear one. Because I had asked them, are we doing the same thing today? Is there anything else I need to be focused on? So they're saying continue to have these dialogues. The cast members who are ready and willing to assist you with your journey and your mission, disclosure of reptilian antics that have kept humanity enslaved and oppressed for thousands and thousands of years. You're doing an incredible job, Shauna. It's so exciting to watch this and to be a part of it. We're so pleased with your progress and your ability to handle this information, to disseminate it with grace and faith and trust, and to continue to be dedicated to the process unfolding here before us. Thank you, Shauna. All right, it's nice to hear that. I would like to take a day off. I'm not sure when. This cold, it's still kind of got this tickle in the back of my throat and some sneezing and coughing, but it just seems to be staying at this level and not getting any worse. But it's a lot. I would, maybe sometime this weekend I'll take a day off, but I'll let you know what I decide to do here. Okay. All right. So I did the same thing, guys. Took the elevator down, opened the doors. The room's full of beings. I'm sitting down at my desk and I wait to see what happens here. So the first thing I saw was what looked like a reptilian, but much more slender, dainty, and feminine. Even the female reptilians I've seen in the past, even the aspect of me from 200,000 years ago, very masculine or neutral, more bulky, muscular, lean. But this reptilian just felt different. The energy was more feminine. And her look was more feminine. And I said, hello, thank you for coming to see me. Do you have a name? And the name that came through was Shira. So female, sounds female. And I said, thank you. Can you tell me what kind of species you are? And she said, reptilian hybrid. I said, okay, hybrid with what? She's like, with something you wouldn't know what this was. So just, we'll leave it at reptilian hybrid. I'm like, okay. And I had a second being come through too. So I'll talk about Shira first, and then I'll get into the second one. All right. I did not meditate as much as I had the last couple of times I did this, and I noticed kind of trying to engage with these beings, it was a little more difficult. Like there was a long pause after she gave me her name and we talked about what kind of species she was. She said, so anyway, just for whatever reason, needed to share that. Okay, so here she continues. Here's Shira. Shauna, I am also a member of the Galactic Federation of Light here to support your mission. There's been so much that has been going on. Incredible, heart-wrenching programs perpetrated by negative reptilian species over thousands of years here. But it's not only Earth where they have wreaked their havoc. It is many, many star systems, she said. Many planets. This is what they do. The reptilians that were planted on this Earth were meant to be killers, carnivores, but in a humanoid body, extremely intelligent, conscious, and aware. And when it came to a point where they were able to team up with the reptilians outside of Earth, they learned so much and were guided to be the ruthless overlords that they are today. Remember, team, a couple weeks ago, I did an entire video just on the backstory of the reptilians as told to me by Melchizedek. And there's one of the Army of Light members here shot me an email here a week ago. Judy Carroll did an interview with Jeff Mara on the Jeff Mara podcast, and she talks exactly about this, and she called them reptarians or reptarans. So Terra as in Earth, reptilians on Earth, reptarans. So the reptilians on Earth here. So it was fascinating that, you know, she also has this, had this knowing that this is how this worked. There were reptilians on the Earth at the same time that humans were on the Earth. Okay, so go back to that video from a few weeks ago. I need to do that myself, actually, and refresh your memory on how this all works. Okay, so the reptilians on the planet here of Earth eventually teamed up with reptilians who were off planet. All right. She says here, so this has been a multifaceted affront on humanity. Many players, different species, pooling their energy and resources and brain power to architect programs that are really meant to cripple this planet and keep humanity under their control. And I'll continue here. Different reptilian species have different strengths and different weaknesses. So when they are able to combine forces across different star systems, they really become powerful. And as others have said before, it is like a plague. Seeds are planted, energy is manipulated, and the unthinkable can happen to the unsuspecting host. This may sound so dramatic, she said. We understand that. So much of this has been under the surface for all of you, just out of consciousness, just out of reach of your awareness. But yet, you've been in accord with these plans to a large degree, in alignment with them, in resonance with them, until now, until recently. And I'll continue here with her. And we are overjoyed because now is the time for disclosure on a mass scale and all the pieces falling together for humanity to fully understand the big picture and to be able to be in their choice of what to do about it and how to be moving forward. Yes. All of this coming to light on a mass scale. You haven't always honored each other, she said. In fact, just the opposite. This is a quintessential reptilian trait, each being out for themselves. This duality, this stance, as you are now aware, has created a divisiveness that is so basic and common to your species that it goes undetected. But yet here it is in plain sight, she said. And she continues here. This is what we like to call alignment without culpability. Alignment without culpability, without blame. There is an exploitation of the ignorance and innocence of humanity, and it is no longer tolerated. Side note, this sounds a lot like what the GFL was telling me back in the day when I channeled them for 100 days straight. Guys, if you haven't watched any of that stuff, I highly recommend that you go back and pick out ones that resonate with you and watch some of this stuff from the GFL. Shira is part of the GFL, and she very well could have been part of the collective that was coming through for those 100 days and beyond that I channeled them. Now, it is understood that in most cases, humans as individuals try to do what they feel is right. Most people can receive the benefit of the doubt. Many of you have your hearts in the right places, doing what you feel is right or is best. Usually from a more selfish standpoint, however, what's best for you as a singularity, not necessarily what's best for the larger whole. Yeah, we know that. I mean, this is how we operate here on this planet. And she continues here. But this is changing when you've been raised to understand that you are in lack, that resources are scarce, that money is hard to come by, and you're always just one step away from complete and utter ruin. This tends to create a framework for you upon which you base your decisions. Excuse me, it's starting to rain. We're hearing a little tap, tap, tap. But these things, these concepts are not true and were skillfully planted by reptilians thousands of years ago. Man, I can't even hardly get my head around this idea that, you know, we just think that, oh, this is just how humans are. We're 3D, we're low vibration. But the way these beings are talking, you know, some of our most basic ways that we see the world and this dualistic nature have been planted by reptilians. I'm still trying to just get my brain around this. And she continues here. And this mindset, the scarcity mindset, us versus them, out for myself, has been the modus operandi ever since. As long as you're each feeling completely insecure with your place in the world, you operate out of fear and anxiety. We know that. She says here, you're not feeling centered and grounded. You're not embracing love and peace and harmony. You're not living a life with ease and grace. And you are coming to realize you must work really hard at having these qualities, embodying and embracing these qualities that are your birthright. That are our birthright. We are having to work at ease and grace and love and including others and unity consciousness. This does not come natural for us. But instead, you're always looking over your shoulder. Who's coming to get me? Who is coming to get my money? I could lose everything in a moment's notice. Those feelings of manipulation or being used, being suspicious of each other, not knowing other people's motives, feeling as though people are out to get you. These are also quintessential negative reptilian traits. These are not natural to the human's original experience. Yeah. You know, again, I chalked this all up. I mean, we have a duality planet here, and for good reason. You know, an understanding kind of who and what we are out in this illusion it's a wonderful testing ground for us, and it's also an incredible place for learning and experimenting with things and experiencing things and balancing our karma. But you know, kind of these finer points of our duality here, always looking over our shoulder and being suspicious of others, you know, they're saying that this is not really our natural state of being. And I believe that. It's good to know this. All right. This way of relating to oneself in the world has been manipulated and planted by negative reptilians. This has been such a deeply rooted belief system that you may have no idea how you might even picture a world without these tenets, without these basic ideas that many of you live by. But I promise, she says, in the new world, this stance and this outlook will be a thing of the past. And she continues here. Believe this, dear ones, and work to make this your reality today. This will help speed up the process. Know yourself as abundant. Know yourself as eternally supported and loved. Know yourself as beautiful. Know yourself as divine. And then see others in the same way. Make room for this way of thinking and being and see what happens. Love that. And then there was a big pause. And I had said, thank you, Shira. Is there anything else that you wanted to add to this? She says here, we all love humanity so very much, and we see your potential. We see the sparks of love here. We see you trying so hard and wanting to have a better life for yourselves, for your families, for your brothers and sisters. This is coming, dear ones. Stay the course. These revelations are an important stepping stone here to a new paradigm. This is, in itself, a releasing of old energies, making room for the new. In this revealing, you'll find freedom. In this revealing, you'll find freedom. Wow. Yeah. I said, thank you so much, Shira. It was such an honor and a pleasure to meet you. And she said, it was my honor and pleasure as well. All right, so I took a quick little break and I sat down and I went for number 2 here. So that was about a half an hour's worth of dialogue with Shira, with the pauses and such. So went ahead and I asked if there was anybody else who wanted to come through today. All right, and I started to see really a quite stunning kind of blue and green and gray and black being, kind of more swirls or blotches of color that were quite vibrant actually. And I couldn't really see clearly really what I was seeing were more of the colors, but humanoid, I assumed reptilian. And they had a seat and, you know, really a quite stunning, beautiful being. I said, hello and thank you for coming forward. I said, do you have a name? And the name that came through is Rinkin. Rinkin. Shira and Rinkin. Well, who was yesterday? I can't even think. All right, Rinkin. I said, thanks for coming forward, Rinkin. What would you like to talk about today? And this being said, Shauna, you're wanting the truth here. And I said, yes, please. I'm wanting the truth. And they said, 200,000 years ago, when you, my dear, were in a reptilian experience, in embodiment, things were much different. Yet somehow the cunning, the brutality, the conniving, and the ability to mobilize and take action were still there. But when you add the incredible technologies, abilities, and resources that were brought from outside reptilians who came to Earth to assist the earthly reptilians, it created a maelstrom of brutality and corruption that eclipsed any other reptilian programs on other planets and star systems up to that point. You know, prepping for this video and rereading this, you know, when I talk to a lot of these beings, I'm not necessarily retaining the information. I may have a question that pops up or something, but, you know, there's maybe half of it that I'm not really remembering because I'm kind of in that deeper state of consciousness. So as I reread this, I was just like, oh my gosh. I mean, it's just getting just unbelievable here. All right. It was, so what he's saying here, this had eclipsed what they were able to pull off with the off-planet reptilians who came to the planet. Again, Melchizedek talked about this in that video that I mentioned from a few weeks ago. I'll put it in the description so we have it. I'll put a link to it. Anyway, eclipsed any other reptilian programs on other planets and star systems up to that point. And they continue here. So many lessons learned from other star systems, from other reptilian species who have been around so much longer than the earthly reptilians. So much information to exchange. The reptilians of Earth are perfectly engineered and acclimated to the planet and could be there and live there and thrive, while outside reptilians couldn't necessarily do that. The earthly reptilians, he said, were willing participants in creating and forging a stronghold and subjugation of humanity. They also had the patience to carry out their agenda. Tens of thousands of years later, all the pieces were in place, firmly in place and rooted, just outside of the consciousness of most of humanity, and the machine was just working. Humanity kept several species of reptilians full of luge. Okay, that's the human fear energy, luge. I'd heard this before. This is not the first time I've heard this word being used, but it is surprising me this is what they're calling this. It was harvested as if it were a crop. It was ran as though it were a complicated corporation. There were calculations, management, planning, scheduling, mobilizing, training, all the coordination needed to make this a finely tuned machine to produce an abundant supply of luge for the reptilians who were in charge. Shauna, you will learn more and more about the inner workings of these programs and who was involved on humanity's side, who also helped facilitate the carrying out of these programs. Yeah. Okay. And he continues here. And you will see the extent of and the depth of the debasement here. None of this happened accidentally or just by happenstance. No, this was planned, fostered, nurtured until it reached what it is today. And then he says, thank you, Shauna, for your service, for your dedication, and for allowing this exchange to happen. It's an important time, and I'm happy to be a part of it. I said, thank you so much, Rankin, for this. This all makes sense. I'm thanking all my star family today for all the information. I said, is there anything else you'd like to add? And he said here, we all look forward to a day when this is behind us, and we look forward to much more harmonious, balanced, and a loving world. I said, thank you, Rankin, for that. Thank you, Rankin, for that. Thanks for coming through. All right, basically this is where this ended. Melchizedek, I did check in, and I asked, did I get all this correct? Is there anything else? And what they added here was for you guys. We appreciate everybody's open-mindedness, open hearts, and willingness to participate at this level. Nice work, guys. Thanks for hanging in here with me. We're just getting started, okay? I'm going to call it a night. Thanks for being here. Thanks for all your beautiful, supportive, loving comments, for supporting each other, for reaching out via email, for your donations. Thank you, everybody. Also, if you're new to my channel, I put out a couple of books that you can find on Amazon. One's a really short channel book about the Ascension, an overview of the Ascension, and another one is more about my personal experience. And I published that in 2020. It's been a couple years when I first started this YouTube channel, actually. Okay, loves. Have a great night. I love you. Mwah.